It's opening week of MVFC play, and the Indiana State Sycamores roll to town with a high-tempo offense. Their defense will have their hands full, though, against Southern Illinois Salukis quarterback DJ Williams and company, who are averaging over 40 points a game. Conference play is next. It's Saturday Night Football in Carbondale, Illinois, as the 11th-ranked SIU Salukis host Indiana State in front of what should be a big crowd on family weekend on campus. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, with Coach Kerry Martin. I'm Larry Larson. Glad you're with us on your Saturday night. And, Coach, this one kind of has a little bit of a Week 1 vibe to it. It's hot outside. That's Week 1 of conference play.
It is. In the Missouri Valley Conference, when conference play starts, they talk about it being a second season. And in this conference, you better button that chin strap.
SIU 3-1, Indiana State 2-2. As we look at the comparison between these two teams, Salukis' offense has been one of the very best in the nation, 16th overall in offense.
Big-time numbers, good balance, exactly what Coach Hill's looking for.
And for Indiana State, you kind of got to take these numbers with a grain of salt. They've played an incredibly tough schedule.
They are skewed a little bit because the last 2 weeks have been really tough, but I think who they want to be was in the first two ball games. That's who they hope to be tonight.
Well, we mentioned the temperature, Kerry. Game time temperature, 78 degrees, got up to above 83 at times today. It's a little hot for October.
It is, but it feels like football. The humidity's kind of down. The sun's setting, the crowd is big, and there's a lot of excitement.
A ton of excitement. And speaking of excitement, we're excited to hear from our sideline reporter, Taylor Lawrence.
Thank you, guys. Today is the second time the Salukis are here back at home to match against their first conference game against Indiana State. Now, the Salukis are on their 2-game winning streak, and we're looking to see if they're able to carry that same momentum in tonight's matchup. Larry?
Thank you, Taylor. It is SIU's first home game since Week 1 against Thomas More, a Division II opponent, and this one has a markedly different vibe to it.
It certainly does. You know, when you start Missouri Valley Conference play, you know that each week is its own battle, and you got to take them one at a time. It's an old coaching cliche, Larry, but it's so true. You can't look past anyone in the Missouri Valley, and Indiana State, well-coached, veteran staff. They know they've been through the wars with other programs and with this team, and so they'll have their team ready.
You mentioned veteran coaching staffs for both teams. Kurt Mallory in his 9th season in Terre Haute. The Mallory name, obviously a big one in football. A lot of coaching background in that family. While the Salukis under the guidance of Nick Hill in his 10th season.
Yeah, certainly there is some, continuity among these two staffs, and I think that's really important. There's a lot of respect for these two coaches, and I think they coach their programs in similar ways.
All right, Indiana State will kick it away in the first half. Salukis will receive the second half kickoff. Kicking duties for the Sycamores, all of them belong to Sebastian Lopez. Place kicking, field goals, punting. They do have a punter, Harry Trom. Lopez swings the leg, and we have football back in Carbondale. It sails over Vincent Davis for a touchback. The Salukis offense will take the field with DJ Williams. And we talked at the top of the show, Salukis 16th in the nation in offensive yards per game. And it really starts with a Walter Payton Award candidate in DJ Williams.
It certainly does. He is when you talk about a dual threat quarterback, this is exactly who they're talking about. This guy can throw it, which is probably the biggest improvement in his game, and he can certainly run it. He's big, he's strong, and he makes good decisions.
Last game before the bye week, 6 total touchdowns, 4 passing, 2 on the ground on the road at SEMO, and SIU's offense starts with a flag. It'll be a false start on the left guard, Aiden Logan.
Well, you don't want to start with pre-snap penalties, that's for sure, but sometimes the players are pretty hyped up right now, and not uncommon to see that opening drive have a little jitters to it.
That'll make it 1st and 15 to start the ball game. Williams out of the gun. A 2-back set. LaShawn Lester gets the first carry, and he's through the hole. Big gainer. First play, deja vu. Lester brought down at the 20. Well, last game for SIU, DJ Williams took a run to the house on the first play from scrimmage. And tonight, LaShawn Lester almost did it.
Well, he certainly is a guy that we thought had that potential last year. And, boy, to see him get off in the first quarter like this, in the first play of the game, is huge for the Salukis. They need that other guy that can threaten. But he may have pulled up a little lame there at the end. I hope it's nothing serious, but they certainly need his ability in that backfield.
Chandler Chapman on at running back now as Williams throws, and he hit Fabian McCray right in the hands. It's a drop on first down.
Salukis have been a big play team so far, and that certainly, that run right there was an example of it. And now they're playing a little up-tempo, too, which is going to really help.
Salukis have been incredibly efficient in the red zone this season. 19 of 20 times they've gotten points. 16 of those times have been touchdowns. Back-to-back drops makes it 3rd and 10.
Yeah, not something we've seen a lot of. Salukis have been pretty good at catching the football and getting upfield, and that's a couple of drops on 2 slant routes. Got to put them in a little hole here, get behind the chains on 3rd down.
Got to feel good if you're Indiana State. They have struggled mightily to stop opposing offenses in the red zone. Opponents have come away with points on 19 of 19 trips.
SIU's been good on 3rd downs, though. This could be another big moment for them if they can get this first down here.
53% on the season, one of the best marks in the nation. Williams over the middle, has a man. It's Jay Jones for 6.
That's how you bounce back. You get a couple of drops, you maintain confidence in your guys, and you put one on the money between 2 defenders. That's a sweet throw right there from DJ Williams.
Jones, the 6-year Saluki. He's had to wait his turn, and he starts the ball game with a touchdown. That's his 3rd this season.
You know, I just love the poise of DJ in the pocket. He throws that ball right where it needs to be thrown. What a great chance they had, 3rd and 10.
Paul Halen, big kicker from the Netherlands, has been perfect in the extra point department, and that does not change there. SIU continuing its opening drive success this season. They've scored every single opening drive in 2025. They lead 7-zip. Salukis lead at 7-zip as they score on an opening drive for a 5th consecutive game to open the season. And Kerry, we were talking about it during the break. How about all those boxes that SIU has continued to check throughout the season?
Yeah, 3rd down, conversions, opening drive, big plays. I mean, it's red zone efficiency. I mean, it's all the things you want. And to see them, break that big run like that, that's very typical of what they've been doing all year long.
Halen will try and boot it deep, especially considering the return man for Indiana State is Rashad Rochelle, one of the very best in the nation, and he'll get a chance to take it back. Fields inside the 10, has some blocks, falls forward to the 25. And that's where this Sycamores offense will set up shop and carry this Sycamores team all of a sudden a little bit more shorthanded. Their All-American quarterback, Elijah Owens, went down with an injury. He's missed the last 2 games. Again, out tonight. But before the game, we learned that Ples Lawrence, their top running back, is also on the shelf.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're starting Missouri Valley Conference play and you're already a couple of key players out. That's a tough way to start the year.
So Keegan Patterson, the redshirt junior from Longmont, Colorado, is the starter again. Play action. Dishes is out to the left for Brian Domino, who is wrapped up. C.J. Parson up from strong safety all over it.
They got a lot of confidence in Patterson. They really do. And I feel like, they're talking to their coach, they feel like he's going to be a guy that can step in and do the job.
Well, he's an experienced quarterback. Started his career at USC as a walk-on, then transferred to junior college, and then landed here at Indiana State. It's a jet sweep. And again, a very short gain for Brian Domino, the FBS transfer from UConn.
The Saluki defense has been really active the first 4 weeks. They've really been flying the ball and making good tackles, and that's been a big improvement over last year's defense.
3rd down and 4 for the Sycamores. They have struggled mightily on 3rd down this season. Patterson back to throw. Clean pocket. And it's off the hands of Domino. And those 3rd down struggles continue. Indiana State is 26% on the season.
Yeah, it's been a problem for them, and that's been a drive killer. You know, they get in those 3rd down situations, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, even 3rd and 4, and they have struggled to convert those.
So the Sycamores will bring on the punt team led by Harry Traum, native of Melbourne, Australia. Played Australian rules football in high school and made his way to the States. Gives it a boot. Tay Mario calls for the fair catch, and he's got it just past the 25-yard line. So an early opportunity for SIU to go up 2 scores on Indiana State on their home turf.
Well, this certainly is the start that SIU would want, right? Score quick, be efficient, get a stop on defense, get the ball right back, and put DJ Williams and the offense back on the field. Indiana State needs to get a stop here, hold the SIU offense down until they can get their feet under them and get some offense going themselves.
The drive starts at the 24-yard line to be exact. Williams in the gun with Chapman lined up. Williams with plenty of time lofts it over the middle for Vincent Davis. Stacked up short of midfield. How does Vincent Davis get that wide open? The Salukis' leading target.
Man, he's had a great start to the season. He's been all over the field, not only catching the ball, but running the ball on reverses and quick screens. He has been a weapon.
Salukis go tempo here. Schwindeman, the tight end, in motion. It's a screen pass. And a successful one at that.
One of the things you'll notice, they're really comfortable in that empty set because DJ is such a run threat that they still have the threat of running the football, but they can get a five receiver set going, throw the quick screens, split those zone coverages up, find those gaps, and DJ's showing a really nice touch on the ball when he needs to as well. And that's a big improvement over last year.
That was Chapman out of the backfield on the screen pass. Williams only able to play 3 games last season. Another backfield pass for Davis. Davis with a burst of speed. He's got the first down. Davis, the Salukis' leading pass catcher, coming off a 185-yard performance before the bye on the road at SEMO. It's a guy who loves playing against rivals. He's had a big game every year against SEMO. The Salukis are happy to have him back.
Yeah, those quick screens have been good for SIU all year long, and they're getting great blocking from the tight ends and from the other receivers to spring those short throws into big plays.
Fresh set of downs. Just past the Saluki head. And Chapman will get his first carry. And he is wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. Brandon Amyampong in there to get his paws on him.
One of the things that Indiana State came into the season believing was that their front four was going to be one of their strengths. They're a 4-man front. They like their front 4 guys.
They played well in the first quarter against Montana, but after that, not so much. Williams uses his legs for the first time and gets cracked after a gain of 5.
Yeah, they run a lot of guys in and out, too, and you can see that. They make a lot of changes up front, keep a lot of guys fresh. They like their linebacker crew as well. That front 6 is pretty strong for them. They feel real good about some of their safety play from Clark. But SIU got a chance here again on 3rd down.
3rd down and 5 for Williams and company. Sycamore showing blitz. Now an audible. Still plenty of time on the play clock here. Just now hitting 10. Davis, the man in motion. It's Chapman with the give. He's got the first down and more. Chapman slips the defenders. He's gone. Salukis up by 2 scores in the first.
We're going to have to start giving a whole lot of credit to that offensive line because the 2 long runs by SIU, the offensive line has done an amazing job of opening up holes. And that was a great job there. You could see it right there, the gap he got through. And then that acceleration, that burst between 2 defenders. SIU's been looking for that run game, someone other than DJ, and they've got it tonight right here in the first 2 drives.
Chapman, the junior college transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, pretty much split the carries somewhat evenly with LaShawn Lester. And both of them have big gainers early tonight. Salukis 14, Indiana State nothing. More next. Salukis head coach Nick Hill has to be happy with this start. 14-0 over Indiana State early in the conference opener.
What I love right now is that balance that we talked about. The Salukis need to have some balance in their offense. And man, you cannot have a better start than what they got right now in this ball game. Indiana State's got to regroup right now.
They absolutely do, needing a response. They have lost 14 consecutive road games, trying to avoid a 15th. And Rochelle watches that one for a touchback. We send it down to Taylor.
Resulting in a touchback. The ball will be placed at the Sycamore 25-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Indiana State.
We'll put that one in our pocket, save it for later. Indiana State will set up at 25. And we talk about that road losing streak, Kerry. It's very difficult to play on the road, but the places where the Sycamores have played these last few games, on the road at Montana, before that in Bloomington against Indiana, it's been a struggle.
It's been a struggle. It's tough to play on the road anyway. When you're playing on the road in those kind of hostile environments, it's really tough.
Give to Nick Osho, the Canadian redshirt junior, plows forward for a gain of a few on first down. Now we go to Taylor.
Thank you, guys. Sorry for that mistake earlier. But I was able to go to the SIU doctor to check on our own Sean Lester Jr. because people noticed that he was limping off the field. But the doctor said everybody is still positive on his performance tonight, but they will continue to watch him during the rest of the game.
Patterson takes a shot, just overshot his primary target, Rashad Rochelle.
Well, he had him, didn't he? He got behind the Saluki secondary and good route, just a little overthrow, but shows you what kind of arm strength he's got. He's a threat back there, a quarterback, and I think one of the things to watch for, again, is this third down conversion. We don't want to hype on that too much, but it's been a big obstacle for Indiana State, and they need to convert here.
Whistles, and this one is blown dead. There's a flag down. All start. That won't help.
No, it doesn't help. 5 yards, you wonder how big of a deal it is. And I'm telling you, as a coach, as an offensive play caller, 5 yards makes a big difference because that 3rd and 6, or 3rd and 7, now 3rd and 12, it's a big difference, and it changes what you're going to call most of the time. Got to go to a different part of your play sheet, find something that's for that kind of yardage, some different routes, maybe some in cuts over the middle. We'll see what they dial up.
A rare miscue for Indiana State. They are penalized the fewest of MVFC teams coming into action tonight.
Typical Coach Mallory team, disciplined, not a lot of mistakes. They don't hurt themselves. You got to beat them. You're going to beat them doing what you do best.
A little bit of confusion on SIU's sideline as Indiana State's getting set for the play. We'll see what shakes out. Patterson to throw. Rush coming over the middle. Broken up. That was Jagger Williams. He's missed the last 2 games. Makes an impact here in the first quarter.
The Saluki offense gets a lot of press right now, but the Saluki defense has continued to play better and better. Went through some injuries last year, but I'm telling you, I've been really impressed watching the Salukis on film, how they rally the ball. By the way, those 3 linebackers they play lead the team in tackles. That's what you would want to see, and they've been all over the field.
Brahms punt towards the numbers on the near side. Looks like it kind of got kicked up by an Indiana State player who was set for a big bounce. Salukis get it back, already leading by 2 scores, and we've already touched on a lot of these keys to the game, Coach.
Well, I think it's important to note that, SIU is you're starting to figure out who you are as a program or as a team right now, and one of the things that stands out is if Indiana State's going to do well, they've got to contain DJ Williams, and they've got to be better on 3rd down. For the Salukis, balance on offense, pass and run, and we've already seen that tonight. and they're going to have to put pressure on the Indiana State quarterback, which, again, I think they've already begun doing. So those are things you're going to have to kind of watch throughout the game. But SIU, as I said earlier, off to a great start. Another pivotal drive right here for the Indiana State defense to do something.
And today's keys to the game are brought to you by Vic Koenig Chevrolet, home of the lifetime powertrain coverage. This one is not covered. DJ Williams, uncontained, down the sideline, dragged down inside the 10.
Big plays, big plays, big plays. We can see it every drive.
Williams slow to get up, doing some push-ups on that far sideline. Maybe just catching his breath.
It might be. Yeah,
your quarterback draw.
Yeah, and again, the offensive line doing a great job. Quarterback draw. You get those backs, those receivers released, and then you find a little bit of space for DJ Williams, and he can make a guy miss, which he did. He can break tackles. People don't realize he's a big guy. He can break tackles as well as outrun people.
Two tight ends set on 1st and goal. Throw goes to Schwindeman, and he's brought down in the flat.
A great open field tackle right there.
JT Anderson had it covered. Redshirt senior from Tampa, Florida. FBS transfer from Florida International. Stepped into a starting role this week for Lucas McAllister.
Well, you and I talked about SIU getting the tight ends more involved. They've been a big part of the Saluki offense over the years, especially in Nick Hill's offense. And they've really kind of been on the back burner lately. Thought we might see them be a little more involved tonight.
Lem Wash is the running back, and he'll get the carry. Wash dances around a tackle, pushing towards the goal line, and he's brought down a yard shy. Wash, the transfer from South Dakota, converted quarterback.
Larry, you think about this in this first quarter, how many different names are called? Running the ball, catching the ball, making plays. There's a lot of touches being done by a lot of different Salukis.
Williams will go under center after that last snap went to Wash directly. A.J. Quinn, the quarterback. It's a Carbondale clog over the goal line for DJ Williams. The Dog's own version of the tush push makes it a 3-score lead.
Boy, another good drive coming off another big play. Then they settle in, good in the red zone, doing what they want to do right now to Indiana State's defense. And that offensive line continues to do a great job getting the push up front. I'm telling you, a lot of good things have happened to the Salukis in this first quarter.
You like that Carbondale clog?
I loved it.
Do we need to find a different name? We'll workshop it. As Halen is good again. 21-zip for the Salukis over Indiana State. The run game exploding early. $21-0 Southern Illinois over Indiana State in Week 1 of Missouri Valley Football Conference play. Thanks so much for joining us on your Saturday night. He's Carey, I'm Larry, and Carey, we've called a lot of names, gotten done in a lot of ways, everything clicking for the Salukis right now.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, you couldn't script it any better if you're Nick Hill and the Salukis. You couldn't draw this up. You had to say what would be the perfect start to a ball game. This is it. They've ran the ball, they've thrown the ball, they've thrown it deep, they've thrown it short. The offensive line has played well, and the defense just keeps getting stops.
Rochelle reels it in for a fair catch in the end zone. It's a touchback. Second in a row for Paul Halen, which is a key in and of itself, especially when you're kicking to a guy like Rochelle, who made an impact as a kick returner in the Big Ten at Rutgers. So before last drive for Indiana State, we mentioned, well, you need a response. Now you really need one.
The emphasis on need it now. I mean, it's got to come at some point. They need to get points on the board. They need to get a drive together. I mean, their defense has been on the field, and the offense has had 3 and outs. They need to put a drive together, get some first downs.
There you see the season numbers on Patterson tonight included. Flag down, and it's going to be a false start. He's got one on back-to-back drives now, do the Sycamores.
Well, if one team has the start they've dreamed of, the other team is certainly facing something that this is their worst-case scenario for them. On the road again against a very good ranked football team, and you just keep shooting yourself in the foot. You're not executing. You're not getting those conversions. It's a tough start, but it's early.
1st and 15. Patterson, a pump and a pass. It's complete. French reels it in and won't go down easy. It's a hard-fought gain of 3. Corey French, the Illinois native, had the first 2 catches of his career last game at Montana.
Well, you can see Patterson's hesitation. He seems to be hesitating. He's not in rhythm right now, which is a key. And I think because the Saluki defense is getting in those lanes, covering those receivers, he's not in rhythm. He's kind of hesitant, and then he threw that ball kind of late. His last 2 throws have almost been picked.
It's a draw play. It's Osho. Osho with a burst. Wrapped down near midfield by Jeremiah McClendon. Osho burst for 2 long touchdown runs last game at Montana, and that's a little bit of that speed that we saw on tape.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did in the 4th quarter of that ball game.
I had to keep an eye on if you're a Sycamore fan, despite Ples Lawrence, the leading running back, being down with an injury. Domino wide open on the far sideline for a gain of 5 on 1st down.
Well, they got a little energy now, right? They got a little something going. They went to empty that time. They found a check down on the sideline. They've got something going, got a little tempo going.
Osho again bounces towards the outside. A gain of 1. Osho started his career at Reedley College, and he kind of had a hard time picking up Division I interest. And so the spring after his last season of junior college ball, he was running track and posting his track times on his Twitter account to try and get some looks, and it worked. Now he's here at Indiana State.
You got to sell yourself in this world. You got to get your name out there, and certainly he did that.
Patterson has quite the connection going with Domino tonight. He chugs inside the 35, and here comes this Sycamores offense finally finding a rhythm.
Well, this is the Sycamore offense we thought we would see. The short passes, the quick runs, the burst by Osho, the kind of things we've been seeing the last few weeks.
Patterson rolls out, and he'll tuck and run. Patterson towards the sticks. It's going to be a fresh set of downs.
Well, we talked before that he is a threat to run, and I think people thought that, he was just a pocket passer maybe, but even though he's not a huge kid, he can run the ball. He's very elusive and can throw on the run.
They are going to mark him short, so it's going to be 2nd down and 1. So a gain of 9 for Patterson on 1st down, filling in for as good as they come in terms of rushing quarterbacks in Elijah Owens. Osho got close and got past him. So it is a 1st down.
Yeah, what a nice drive by the Sycamores.
Just shy of the red zone now. Osho again drives right guard, and he is pushed backwards. A gang of angry dogs in there to push him back. Chris Presto leading the way. Returning starter at linebacker. VFC Defensive Player of the Week versus SEMO. What a game he had.
Yeah, 3rd leading tackler on the team, and he's a guy that brings a lot of energy to that Saluki defense.
Had a forced fumble, 12 tackles, and an interception in week 4. Screen pass. It's Rochelle. Another big game.
This is where I think they're the best. They've got the play action going. They got a little RPO game going. They got the quick screens out there. Let some of those athletes play in space. Spread the Saluki defense out a little bit. Yeah, this looks more like what we expected to see. This is a nice drive against a good defense.
Got to keep an eye on Rochelle. Top of your screen, hear the sticks. Osho the sidecar with Patterson. And SIU will burn a defensive timeout first of the game for either side.
Like SIU had a substitution issue getting the right personnel on the field.
So head coach Nick Hill wants to get it all straightened out. And not a bad timeout in the sense of just trying to slow down this Indiana State offense. You mentioned it. They're best when they're kind of rolling along, trying to get that tempo going under offensive coordinator John Bear.
Well, sometimes you need a timeout for you. Sometimes you need a timeout to slow them down or just to break their rhythm a little bit. Talk to your guys, kind of reset. But at the same time, they had a little thing going. They were moving the ball, spreading the ball around. Sometimes that little break can help you kind of reset mentally and physically and get ready to go again and maybe get some different personnel in there that you need to get in.
There's Coach Kurt Mallory, the son of Bill Mallory, the all-time winningest coach at IU. Built up a good program at Indiana State. They've had their fair share of struggles, but it's a guy who gets a lot of buy-in from his players.
Sure does.
Osho dances to the outside, dives over the 10-yard line. That's a first down.
Well, I like him. You know, he's got that quick jump cut. He's got that burst once he gets through. And give some credit to this offensive line that's really bounced back and helped put a good drive together.
Salukis have scored on their first 3 drives. Indiana State really hasn't had anything up until this one. First and goal. Patterson escapes the pocket towards the outside, and he trucks over the goal line for the score. He took on Jeremiah McClendon and won.
Well, there's that escapability he's got, and he saw it open up, and he didn't see a receiver open, and he took off the run. And they told us he could run this offense. Even though he's a backup, he could do all the things the starter could do.
Absolutely unafraid of a little contact at the goal line.
That was a collision, and those kind of collisions give you credibility as a quarterback in that film room. I'm telling you right now, the guys will love that. They love to see their quarterback take a shot and still be standing.
Lopez, the redshirt sophomore, sends it onto the berm. And Indiana State is back on the scoreboard on the scamper from Keegan Patterson. That has to feel almost like a relief.
Oh, you can imagine that Indiana State sideline right now has to be saying, that's who we're supposed to be. And now it feels like we've said, just like we just got off the bus, we've settled in now, put a great drive together.
I mean, you can see it on the sideline right now. They're hyping up their guy.
Oh, for sure. And again, there's that little inside lane he finds.
That was a key block by the tight end, Lance Reese, over the middle, as Presto had a beat on Patterson, but Reese clogged him up.
Yeah. Good hard run, great goal line collision, and they got points on the board, and now we're back to having a ball game. Now, Captain Obvious, the key here is the Indiana State defense needs to get a stop. Get back in this ball game. They need to slow down this Saluki offense, which has not been slowed down yet.
Now, that may be obvious, but doesn't mean it's not incredibly hard.
That's true. That is true.
That's a touchback. Vincent Davis caught it at the goal line. So out to the 25 for DJ Williams, who looked a little gummed up after that last drive.
Yeah, you know, if you're an offensive-minded person, you've had a fun first quarter. You've seen about everything. We've seen physicality. We've seen speed. We've seen good throws. We've seen good runs. We've seen some scrambles. We've seen about everything you can see from the offensive side in the first quarter.
Williams has run for 66 yards and thrown for 51 after a game in which he threw for 342 and rushed for 151. Another big gain on the ground. That's Edward Robinson. First time we've said his name, the sophomore from Cleveland. Rushed it 6 times against SEMO. Now it's his turn to join the party.
Well, that veteran Saluki offensive line is getting it done against the Indiana State defensive line that is really well respected.
Williams feels pressure and floats it well short of Tay Mario Jr.
may have been a misread there. I think he wanted him to come back, and he continued on his vertical route.
So second down and 10.
You know, one thing I like about the Saluki offense, Larry, is they can go from a two-back set with a tight end and two wideouts. They can break that and take the same personnel and get into empty, and they can do a lot of different things with the same people on the field. That's pretty. That's a coach's dream right there.
Three receiver set here. A.J. Quinn, the tight end, in motion. A quick reset. It's Robinson. Can't find a hole. There's that Indiana State front seven, which is top 10 in the nation in tackles for loss at the FCS level. Braxton Sampson got in there for the tackle.
Yeah, their second leading tackler. I think he's the tackle for loss leader on that defense. And boy, they really like him. Like him in the locker room, like him on the bus, like him in the hotel room. They love him on the field. He is a full team guy.
Voted team captain. Got recruited as a linebacker, then switched to D-end, now back at linebacker. Williams dancing backwards, and he has to throw it away. Smart play there as he got knocked down. And there's that Indiana State stop. Salukis come away without points for the first time tonight.
That's what they needed. And we talked about a Coach Mallory team is a team that's going to be pretty resilient. They're not going to lay down. They're not going to give up. They're not going to fall behind. The culture there is such. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to fight for their coach and for their program. And you're seeing that right now.
Halen, the lanky punter, 6'6". It's a fake. Direct snap to Quinn. He's got the first down and a whole lot more. Bumped out of bounds past the 40. How about it? The Salukis stay on the field.
Well, the best time to do those is when no one's expecting. Some situations it's pretty obvious you might fake here. A lot of times midfield. But this was a great place to do it if you're going to do it, and well executed. Perfect timing. Good blocking downfield.
A lot of the time when the Salukis fake punt, it gets all the way back to Halen because he's such a good athlete. So that's not something that we've seen a lot of on tape these last few seasons.
Well, there's no greater swing in the game of football as far as momentum swings than special teams. Special teams, kickoffs, any kind of turnover on a special team, and those fake punts like that work can really reset your offense.
Play action almost intercepted. Just fell to the pellets in front of Kamai Clark, one of the best players on this defense. Just couldn't get there.
Preseason All-American, a guy they think's a next-level guy and really a solid football player. One thing to notice here, too, a little bit, the last couple of times we've started to see pressure from that front four, getting some pressure on DJ, forcing some throws maybe a little early, or the receivers he's not looking at as his first look. And here goes that shift again to that empty set.
Robinson split out wide as the back. Williams stays in the pocket and delivers to Mario. Brought down short of the chains.
DJ's really comfortable. You get that 5-wide look. They tried to bring pressure, but it creates an open area, an open gap, and they've been really good at setting down in those areas, and DJ looks comfortable in that pocket, finding that open receiver.
The first down completion, SIU was trying to go, but they jumped. That'll stop the clock with 15 seconds left in the first quarter. It looked like that O-line jumped first, and that is indeed the call. SIU is without their traditional starting left tackle, Coleon Smith. Lane Howley, the sophomore, starting at left tackle for today's ball game. So 1st and 15, clock winding again, and we'll see if SIU tries to run a play. And they will not. To the second quarter we go. The Salukis scored on their first 3 drives. Indiana State got a response on their last one. The 2 scores. Southern Illinois lead in front of a big house on family weekend. Quarter under the lights in Carbondale. SIU, thanks to a fake punt, has extended the drive. Now moving towards the red zone, trying to extend that lead back up to 3 scores.
It's one of those things you'll think about throughout this ball game. How big was that fake punt? The ramifications of that, because Indiana State had finally gotten the momentum. They had gotten the stop they needed. Their offense looked good on that last drive. All of a sudden, that possession was stolen from them.
1st and 15 after a false start before the break. Williams with a screen has Davis. And he's wrapped up after a short gain of maybe 1.
Tell you what, DJ's taking some punishment in this first part of the game. He's got up slow a few times. They're really starting to bring some pressure now, and that ball's having to come out even quicker.
Williams has done a good job on every type of throw this season, and it's very rare to see any kind of incompletion on those short passes. So Salukis do lean on those at times. Play action. Throw over the middle. Dropped in the bucket, but dropped by Jones. Hit him in the hands. In pay dirt.
Yeah, that should have been a touchdown. I mean, that ball was thrown right where it needed to be thrown, and I thought he had good protection that time. He was decisive. He was in rhythm, and just didn't finish.
Jones, the sideline, shaking his head.
Oh, yeah, he wants that one back. Those are tough on a receiver when you get that chance.
That touchdown reception in the first quarter. Only one so far tonight for Williams. Now it's 3rd and long. Back to the screen game for Davis. Swims his way forward past the 25, but again, it's going to be short of the line to gain. And so Paul Halen will come right back on. This time he'll attempt a field goal. Or so we think.
Well, last year the Salukis had some issues with their extra point and field goal teams, and they seem to have all those things ironed out. This is a big area of improvement for SIU, and the confidence they have in Paul to come out and add some points here, kind of get the momentum back on their side.
The 39-yarder, Halen 3 of 4 on the season in the field goal department. Good snap, good hold, and the kick has plenty of leg, nearly perfect. 24-7. And SIU turned what looked to be 4 and out into 3 points.
Yeah, and the special teams have played well for them. Kickoffs have been touchbacks, the field goals, the extra points, and that fake punt. Sometimes special teams kind of get glossed over, but they matter. And I know this, watching Missouri Valley Conference football over the years, special teams can be that deciding factor sometimes in a ball game. And certainly that fake punt could measure a big factor as this game progresses.
Well, especially against teams like North Dakota State, North Dakota, South Dakota State. You get in a tight ball game, one single special teams play could be the difference.
Well, the greatest transfer of yardage that takes place is usually in special teams. That's an old Jerry Kill adage, the old SIU coach, and it's so true. And I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big chance to gain momentum, or it's a could be an opportunity to lose momentum too. And the fact that this conference is known for its great special teams, you better play them well here and not make those mistakes.
All after the big loss of momentum on special teams, Sycamore is trying to swing it back the other way as the kick flies directly out the back of the end zone over Rochelle. So Indiana State and Keegan Patterson will start at the 25. Saw lots of good progress from Patterson and company on that last drive.
Yeah, anxious to see how they come back this next drive. They lost that opportunity when they lost that possession with the fake punt. See how they come out this time. They have to have a little bit of confidence. They held the Salukis to a field goal. Now they got a chance to go down and answer again.
Patterson all by his lonesome in the backfield. And they motion Osho. Hard count. Osho takes the give. It's to the outside. Slips out of the ankle tackle by Presto and lunges forward. Productive gain on first down.
Big, strong, 6'2", 220. With that burst you talked about, we saw last week and saw a little bit today. He's a really a big threat in that backfield, also to catch the football as well.
A touchdown runs of 59 and 79 against the Grizz. All kinds of play action. Patterson connects with Rochelle, and he's brought down. Couldn't quite turn the corner, but he's got a first down catch.
Really good ball. A good timing throw. I said, when he gets in rhythm, he's really dangerous as a quarterback. He's got a really strong arm, and that was a nice throw.
And if Indiana State is going to come back in this game, the ball needs to find Rochelle a lot. Rochelle up the gut.
Make a good point, Larry. Sometimes we get caught up in plays, but really it's about players. You've got to make sure you're getting the ball to your playmaker. It's always frustrating to watch a game and the team's leading receiver, they've not found a way to get him the ball in the first quarter or in the first half. You got to find ways to get your playmakers the ball.
Rochelle lined up on the far side. Domino up there with him. Patterson through his progressions on the run. First down and more. Past midfield into Saluki territory.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. I mean, that scrambling ability and then getting blocks down the field from his tight ends. That is a huge deal. And that's going to become kind of an X factor in this ballgame. Once again, you can see he's elusive.
It's Rocco Sioka throwing the block.
Man, that's key downfield block.
We'll step aside. Injured Saluki down on the field. Colin Bohannick, the preseason All-American, was the injured Saluki, but hops right on that bike. Looks like he might be okay.
Yeah, he's a big kid out.
And on the first play without him, SIU has a sack. And oh, goodness gracious, Keegan Patterson took a big hit on that sack, stood up, and nearly fell over.
Yeah, I think he lost his helmet, and then he went to the ground. I hope he's okay.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, those head injuries.
I mean, look at him. He looks wobbly.
Sure does.
Here's a look as the Salukis brought the blitz. That was Noah Freed, the senior transfer from St. Thomas. And you see Patterson end up without his helmet there.
That was big-time penetration by the Saluki defense and Noah getting in there. And we just hope the young man's okay. Those head injuries are nothing to mess with. And he certainly is feeling the effects of that injury right now.
So he's going to head right to that big blue injury tent. He's going to jog his way there even. This guy's a gamer.
Yeah,
very tough.
He showed that the last couple of weeks, just how tough he is. And
we'll step aside. Indiana State starting quarterback Keegan Patterson in the tent with what appeared to be a head injury after the sack by Noah Freed.
Yeah, you hate to speculate. You hate to speculate on an injury, but great penetration up front by Noah Freed. And then got swung around and maybe ran into somebody else. You hate to see that.
Get that whiplash, no helmet too, and here's a look. I mean, he popped right back up and almost fell over sideways before the trainers could get to him.
Well, you said it. He's a really tough kid. He's a competitor. And, of course, doesn't surprise me. He didn't try. The way he just popped right back up. I want to make sure he's okay.
So it is Brock Riddle o'clock for the Sycamores, the redshirt freshman who opened the season as their third quarterback. He gives on his first play. Nick Osho wrapped up. Gain of 2, 3rd and long.
These situations, you're going to have to look at that run game now more than ever to try to stay in this ball game. So maybe if they can get a confidence throw in here for this young man to get the ball out quick to somebody, maybe throw a screen.
Riddle 3 of 5 on the season for 25 yards. So he has gotten some time. Here's Osho again trying to get it all back by himself. And he can't. So 4th down and long, thanks to the stop by Shug Walker, playing in that spot, usually occupied by Bohannon, still on that exercise bike on the Saluki sideline, and Indiana State will punt.
Well, it does change the complexity of the game pretty dramatically without Patterson in there, but I'm sure they wanted to get that young quarterback a couple of snaps before they tried anything on a 3rd and long situation.
Fromm spins it deep. Fair catch called for and completed by Tay Mario Jr. So SIU sets up shop deep in its own territory. Just over 10 minutes remain in the first half. In case you're just joining us, SIU started the ball game. The scores on its first 3 drives.
Yeah, kind of an offensive explosion there in about every way you can imagine. Quarterback runs, running back runs, long passes, short passes. They did about everything they wanted those first 3 drives. It kind of settled in a little bit now with Indiana State's defense playing a little better.
We'll see what DJ Williams has to say about that. Trying to get things humming again. They start with a give. Chandler Chapman keeps the legs moving forward. Big gain on 1st down.
SIU offensive line has done a good job against what Indiana State believes is their strongest part of their defense, and that's their defensive line. And Coach Clark got to be happy with what he's seen so far. And then what offensive coordinator doesn't love when you get 2nd and 4? Those are great 2nd down play calling downs. Now you can do a lot of different things. Play action, take a shot, whatever you want here.
Davis sprints across the formation. Williams pumps, it's tipped, and in and out of Amond Glass's arms.
Almost a big turnover there. Yeah, almost a big turnover. In a place you don't want to have a turnover. But yeah, if you can't get to the quarterback, your job is to get your hands up and try to take away that passing lane. He did it. Good job.
Looks like that was Shane Bennett, the man who got his hands up in time. And the Sycamore sideline scrambles for a timeout. Something was amiss. Burt Mallory caught it. Coached defense in a lot of different places across the country.
Yeah, it sure has. Yeah, there's not many situations Coach Mallory hasn't been through or dealt with, and I'm sure he's talking to his players right now. They're down a quarterback. Got to lean on some other people now to rally the troops. You got to think about what your defense can do for you here. Maybe get a turnover like that in that situation. Give this 3rd-string quarterback a short field to play with. I mean, looking for every opportunity you can.
We've talked about individual plays and the importance of those. And you look at the landscape of this game so far, I don't think Indiana State has had one landscape-shifting play like SIU has had about 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're right. And this game will come down to their ability now to get some takeaways from SIU's offense. They just can't let SIU not only get points, but drive the ball and put them on a sustained time of possession.
3rd down and medium. Here's Williams. Takes a shot. Davis! Adios! A long touchdown completion to Vincent Davis III.
He finds a way, doesn't he? Finds a way. Vincent Davis finds a way to make a big play in every ball game. And boy, him coming back here and playing this season for the Salukis, such a godsend, such a big-time playmaker and a leader on this receiving corps. Great throw, great catch, great timing.
An 89-yard drive wrapped up in 3 plays. 83-yard reception on the touchdown for Vincent Davis as Halen drills the extra point, and it's 31-7 SIU. Big play haven in Carbondale. A commanding Southern Illinois lead in the MVC opener.
Well, that's the one thing Indiana State didn't want to happen. Quick score in that situation. They just come off a tip that almost got picked off, and then they come back the next play. That long touchdown pass to Vincent Davis III. Well, that makes the mountain they're trying to climb even taller.
Kalen into the end zone and through the end zone for a touchback. Another look at that long play. There have been a few plays like this tonight where Davis has just gotten past the defense and taken the top off.
Yeah, that's just getting it done speed-wise, and they've been really good about finding those open gaps, those open seams, and boy, he found one. And good protection again. DJ's got time to make the throw, and he's putting the ball on the money.
Now Indiana State will open up its first drive, led by Brock Riddle, the third-string quarterback, on for the injured Keegan Patterson. And Patterson was starting for Elijah Owens, the freshman All-American. It's kind of shades of 2024 SIU, a familiar sight with a ton of quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're right. And nobody wants to get down to their third-string quarterback beginning Missouri Valley play, but hopefully they'll get their starter back next week. And this young man's going to get some valuable experience tonight.
There's a flag down after the first down run from Osho. Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
Offsides on SIU. So 1st and 5 forthcoming. We'll see what Brock Riddle has, product of Greenwood Community High School in Greenwood, Indiana. Will throw for the first time, and he's got a completion. Zach Drawdy Jr., who transferred in from UConn with Brian Domino. He was a bit of a late add to the roster. Didn't get to play spring ball, and he's really started to improve these last 2 weeks.
He acted like that each week he's getting better and better and more acclimated to the offense.
Riddle throws and completes. Hello, Zach Drawdy again into SIU territory.
I love when these guys come off the bench. They're just firing those laser shots in there and making plays, and they're acting like this moment's not too big for me. I can do it. I love it. That's great.
Riddle threw for over 4,000 yards and 49 touchdowns in high school, and now they'll move back.
That's a pretty good resume.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. He's playing college football for a reason, and it's just that experience. You wonder how they'll handle that moment. He's come right out firing. I'm impressed.
Hey, you don't throw for 4,000 yards by mistake.
49 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Wow. That's putting some touchdowns.
3 years as a starter. Quarterback read. Osho slips through the line, bounces to the outside, hits the sideline, and hits the goal line. Nick Osho has scored in back-to-back ball games, and the Sycamores have life.
It's a great answer. You got a third-string quarterback in the game. You need something to keep life in this game, and they got it. A couple of completions, great run, offensive line doing a great job. And Nick Osho's got something. Great cut. There it is again, a second cut, getting a good block downfield, and then cut it back against the grain. I like watching.
Boy, does he ever, and what a decision on that second cut. He was looking Chris Presco right in the eyes.
Yeah, and what I love, too, is his cuts are taken at full speed. A lot of guys slow down to make a cut. He makes his cuts at full speed, but not every back does.
It's good for Lopez. And Indiana State has its second touchdown drive of the night. And, forget the X's and O's for the moment, Kerry. When you have your starting quarterback, who is your second-string quarterback, go down with an injury, you've had the defense struggling against a really good offense all night long. Those moments, those are things that you can carry with you throughout the game.
Yeah, you have to. You got to find things you can hang your hat on, things you can build on. And when they get their starting quarterback, maybe back next week, they're seeing things they can build on, like Nick Osho, the offensive line, some receivers that are getting better. I mean, I know it's 31-14. The game is not over. There's still a ton of time left. But they've got to get some more answers on defense. They've got to stop the big plays by SIU.
Lukey's do get the ball to start the second half, so it probably feels like You're Indiana State. You need to stop here, and then you probably need another score to really feel like, okay, we're here, we're hanging around. It'll be a return for Vincent Davis. Davis showing off the speed again, big time, down shy of the 45.
Great return. Special teams looking good. As we talked earlier, there's been a big factor in the first few weeks of the season for SIU, and continue here tonight.
Good starting field position for SIU. Man, Davis he's like the Energizer Bunny tonight.
And just a great job, the guys in special teams blocking for him, opening up some holes and his acceleration. I mean, he's just had a great start to the season.
So 1st and 10 for SIU. Near midfield. Williams has it batted up for grabs, and incomplete. Oh, nearly intercepted again. Diving effort from Kamal Clark.
Yeah.
Up from the secondary.
Yeah, he's a player now. He does a lot of things. As you talk to Coach Mallory about him, I mean, he is a guy that they believe is their leader on defense. Great guy in the secondary to be that leader.
Just how close was it? Hard to tell. He ended up with the ball in his hands, but in a lot of traffic. To hand off up the gut. And that's Lem Watt. Makes it 3rd down and medium. Lukey's offense going tempo. Williams complete. Schwindeman stacked up and pushed backwards.
About a yard short.
Alex Rose was one of the first there, followed by a gang of teammates.
They had a little pre-snap confusion getting lined up. I think the tempo kind of helped, and then certainly they found the open guy just about a yard short.
All right, SIU's going to keep the offense on the field, and this is a gotta have it stop for Indiana State. Williams, hard count, and a timeout for SIU. That's one of those little things that hasn't really gone Indiana State's way tonight. We've seen them penalized on false starts offensively, but credit to the defense for not budging there.
It's an interesting situation, too. I mean, the analytics probably, in today's world, the analytics almost always in this situation, where the Salukis are at, would say go for it. But I think we've kind of lost the art of flipping the field position. You could argue either one right here. I think, in my mind, the way the offense is played, I'd probably go for it here on 4th and 1. It's a pretty short distance right now. It maybe even less than a yard.
SIU will indeed keep the offense out there. And the way SIU has played early this season and the way this coaching staff trusts this offense, this might even feel like a no-brainer.
Well, that's the point, and I think it shows confidence in your offensive line as well. I think that's key. You're telling those guys, I know you can get this. They're going to go to a multi-tight end set, add another offensive lineman.
Lem Watt is going to go from the Wildcat. Flags everywhere. False start.
Albert.
On 4th and 6. So a frustrating end to the drive for the Salukis. SIU beats themselves to wrap up the drive. Halen has not punted tonight. Went out there once, but it was a fake. This time it nearly gets blocked. Got it off. Bounces over Rochelle's head and spins to the 5-yard line.
That's perfect.
A pitching wedge.
That was a great punt. Got the roll, got the bounce they wanted. Now they put Indiana State in that field position switch that you hope for when you punt the ball deep like that. You don't get a touchback and you get the ball to 20.
How about How about the one-stop picking shop that Paul Halen is? He has improved so much, really in every department.
Every phase. And I said, he is a weapon. You know, he was a special teams award winner earlier in the season, and he's a weapon.
So Brock Riddle, the redshirt freshman, sets up at the 5, gives to Osho, pushes a man forward, tries to get forward himself. Solid gain on first down. Osho coming off that 31-yard touchdown run.
They certainly would love to get it out of this hole. If nothing else, get the field position switched back so they don't give the Salukis a short field.
Osho to the outside, puts his head down. Brought down right there near the line to gain. And it is a first down.
Almost feel like he's going to break it every time he carries the ball, right? I mean, it looks like he's about ready to pop one.
Osho again. Brought down after a gain of 1 that time. Sycamore's really riding the hot hand, and that's something that you kind of noticed with their offense watching prior games. You know, if Rochelle gets hot on a screen or had a big return, maybe they'll go back to him on a screen pass. Things like that, and that's what we saw earlier on their first touchdown drive.
True, it's a good point. Yeah, going with that hot hand, the guy that's got a feel right now, the guy that's making things happen.
Riddle play action. Almost snowed under. He escapes the pocket. And he is dragged down. Ben Fiegel, sophomore from Batavia, with the tackle there. Getting some time at the Mike linebacker position. So 3rd down and 7. Riddle bounces out of the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. Now he darts for the sideline, and he's pushed over on the sideline. No flag.
Thought they might make that call there for a late hit. They didn't. Pushed him when he was on the field of play, I guess, and now we got a 4th down situation.
Sycamores are going to stay on the field here. Maybe.
I guess it'll be a draw them off sides situation.
So a bit of a last-minute switcheroo. Mallory's crew. Fromm back on. And Mario is the returner. Fromm with that running start. Good kick. Backs up Mario. I'll have a chance to return. The do-si-do at the 40-yard line, and he loses the football. The Sycamores are on it. Shane Bennett with the fumble recovery. And Indiana State flips the field in an unexpected way.
Not how you draw it up, right?
No.
But I know they'll take it.
There is a flag on the play, but in the meantime,
It's punched it out. Yeah.
that was B.J. Wiest.
Big time play again. Big special teams play. You said it earlier. The Salukis start the second half with the ball. The last thing they wanted to do was give up a score before half and then start the second half with Salukis having a chance to do it again. Now they've got a chance to get points of their own here on a short field.
And look, we'll have a chance to break it all down at halftime. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. We'll pause for the call. Lock in the back on the Salukis, and of course that will be declined. But look, Salukis up 3 possessions here. Even if you go into the half with this lead, I think the message from the coaching staff might be, this has been some sloppy football a little bit in the second quarter. A lot to clean up.
Yeah, second quarter's not been what we saw in the first quarter. Certainly for the Salukis, and Coach Hill, I'm sure, isn't pleased by some of the things he's seen here. That first quarter was exactly how you'd want to draw it up. Second quarter, not so much. Give some credit to Indiana State, too. They've really answered because they had every reason to be down and out in this ball game early and let themselves get buried, and they have fought back.
So 1st and 10. They'll take a shot out of the hand of Riddle, looking for Drawdy. He was pushed out of bounds. No flags. Clean coverage from Jeremiah McClendon, the team's highest graded defensive player according to Pro Football Focus.
That was great coverage. Step for step, the whole way down the field. Great position. Did a good job.
First deep ball attempt that we've seen from Riddle. Osho slips a tackle in the backfield and tumbles down. 3rd down coming up. Now this feels like a spot where Osho might be able to pick it up. That's probably the offensive player that you're most confident in right now if you're Indiana State. He's out there in the gun with Riddle. Here he is. Charges forward, can't quite get it. 4th down and medium, and you probably keep your offense on the field, right?
I would say it's 4-down territory here. You're not going to get a lot of gain by you punt the ball in the end zone, you pick up a 12-yard or 17-yard gain. Not really enough to take the risk. You got a chance here to keep this drive going. It's a manageable 5 yards.
Riddle trying to puzzle the Salukis on 4th down, and he completes.
Yeah,
Lance Reese.
Love the way the play was drawn up. Gives him a quick throw to a guy that he's got confidence in throwing to, and nice 1st down. New set of downs.
3 minutes to go in the first half. Indiana State hanging around after a very slow start and an injury to their quarterback in Patterson. Riddle is wrapped down. 2nd sack of the ball game for SIU. This one belongs to Vontrell Shazay, the senior from Chicago.
Yeah,
Riddle tried to climb the pocket.
Yeah, just
a little late.
A little tried to step up, got around the tackle, had a good inside lean, got in there and got the sack.
2nd and long. Riddle takes a shot over the middle, looking for Drawdy, and it's batted away.
SIU is getting pressure with their front 4, which they're not having to bring a backer, not having to bring that 5th guy. And, of course, he had him just for a moment. I thought he had him early, and then the SIU secondary closed that gap.
Gavin Shepard doing a good job in coverage. That's one of those throws that's you need experience and game reps to really complete.
He hung in there. I was impressed. We got a good push up front. SIU did it. He hung in there.
Riddle hanging in there again. Active feet. Bounces to the outside. He will run it. And again, finds himself on the Saluki sideline. Shy of the original line of scrimmage. Right at it, actually, so.
I thought he'd take a shot. I thought he had a guy open downfield. I thought he might deliver the ball. Field goal time.
It is field goal time. But first, the 2-minute timeout. Indiana State will try and boot it for 3 when we come back. But Indiana State is trying to trim it down to 2 with a 49-yard field goal attempt by Sebastian Lopez. His long this season is 40. And this one is no good. He pushed it. It had plenty of leg. So the Salukis will get the ball back, still leading by 3 scores.
Showed a lot of leg on that, Larry.
He did.
He showed a strong leg on that, just a little bit off, I think, to the right. But Salukis maintained that 3-score lead, and now with the ball and a chance to do something with it, and they got plenty of time to do it, and they've still got 2 timeouts.
And the ball after the break. So everything coming up daisies for the Salukis. Ranked 11th in one poll, 10th in the other. Williams throws for the tight end. Schwindeman takes a hit, hangs on, moves the chain.
Little swing route there with the tight end. We talked about the tight ends getting more involved and seem to be getting more involved tonight.
Quinn had that big run on the fake punt. Schwindeman's got 2 catches. Good start to the drive for SIU. Williams on the crossing route for Vincent Davis. Had a touchdown earlier, and he is wrestled at the 50-yard line. Didn't go down.
He's small in stature, but he is really strong. I know Coach Hill commented on his strength for a guy that's not real big.
Williams again over the middle. It's Jones. Charges forward. First down and change.
Yeah, working a little combination. They ran the swing again, but this time they went to the inside route. The defense is looking for the swing because they threw to Schwindeman earlier, and they got the inside route this time instead.
Jones with lots of time. Over the middle again. A flag comes in from deep in the secondary as Edward Robinson picks up a chain mover, but hold on. Looks like this one's against Indiana State.
It's like defensive holding, I think. At times, that 4-man pressure is allowing the Salukis to leak that running back out. He's not having to help with protection, so he's able to set up in the middle or off to the side and give them an additional route runner. And then DJ has done a great job of finding those guys.
It was indeed defensive holding. Harry, where are your stripes tonight?
Lucky guess.
Yeah.
Lucky guess.
Robinson gets the carry, turns the corner, stays on his feet, tiptoes the sideline. Robinson has looked good tonight.
Hey, yes, they went a bunch set to the wide side of the field, single receiver to the short side, and they run to the short side of the field and got a big gain. Great time to call a run, and especially in that formation.
First down again. Robinson again up the gut, keeping the legs moving. Another 10-yard gain.
I love that set. They stack receivers, kind of run a little RPO looking on both sides. It kind of weakens that box a little bit. Now we got 5 maybe on 4 inside or 5 on 5. Good time to run the ball.
They are going to say second down and inches. Salukis with some shift. Win the tight end back tight to the formation. And a timeout taken by Nick Hill. Oh, Indiana State. Excuse me. You got to make sure everything's aligned. Massive spot late in the first half. 22 seconds left. You really cannot afford another touchdown.
No, and we talked about that earlier. I mean, that's one of those things where with the score the way it is, you give up another touchdown here. Salukis start the second half with the ball. You wanted to go into that locker room maybe with a 2-score situation that you feel like you can overcome, but boy, you get into this situation here with another touchdown by the Salukis, it becomes a tall order.
So second down and 1, if that, for SIU. Salukis with those 2 timeouts still in their pocket. Probably a passing situation, right?
They can do about anything they want here with those 2 timeouts. They've got the open playbook right now. They're showing pressure.
Williams calls it out.
And they're bringing pressure.
Throws. Incomplete. In the area of Jones.
Well, they bring that many guys. You're going to have to find your best one-on-one matchup. And I think that's, he wanted to go there. maybe a back shoulder throw, get a jump ball to one of his taller receivers.
Lem Wash comes into the huddle, and usually he's one of their short yardage backs. Again, with those timeouts, needs to move the chains. We'll see. Williams in the pistol. High snap. Wash gets the carry and gets enough for the first down. Clock winding after they move the chains, and the Salukis spike. I will say, I think we got a little mixed up. I think the Salukis did take that timeout earlier. So they've got one left. That's what the live stats are showing. We aimed for 80% accuracy up here. Williams, the keeper. Williams gets a push. He's in. Second one on the ground tonight for one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the nation.
Good hard run, big strong kid. He can really make things happen with his legs, with his arm, and those short yardage situations. He doesn't mind taking the ball in there in that crowd at all. And got a nice push too. Got a little help, I think, in there.
Halen still perfect in extra points. And it stays that way. It's like a wrestling match is going to ensue on that berm if somebody's not careful. Everybody wants a souvenir.
Lord of the Flies. Yeah. When that ball lands up there.
Feel bad for the person who has to try and go get it. No way they let them keep those balls.
No. Footballs are too expensive. Yeah. Got to have those back.
So 8 seconds left in the first half. All Southern Illinois. Williams does such a good job. He's such a patient runner.
Yeah. With good lead blocks, and the offensive line is just getting that push and getting that surge, and they've done a great job tonight.
So much experience up front for SIU. And even after last season, a big disappointment, but so much of that had to do with injuries. But you looked at that roster, and you saw so many returners set to come back. And most of the guys with eligibility left did come back. Guys like Aiden Logan, Noah Fensky, Eric Harden Jr., Cameron Dye, all guys that were up front last year.
Yeah, as fans of the game, you always talk about the skill guys. Fantasy football is all about the running backs, receivers, quarterbacks. But when it comes to real football, that offensive line can make a star out of some guys. They can protect that quarterback, give him that time to throw, get those receivers time to get open, make those running backs look great. I mean, it truly is a game of guys up front so often. The line of scrimmage is where so many games are still won, even in this spread football era. And I love to see those guys get credit when credit is due to them.
The Sycamores will take a knee and head to the half, trailing 38-14. With their redshirt freshman quarterback, Brock Riddle, now leading the way. Frustrating first half for Indiana State. A blistering hot start for the Salukis. And they carry a massive advantage to the break. Stay with us. Halftime coverage is coming up next on The Valley on ESPN. (38-14) Southern Illinois. How did we get here, you might ask? Well, how about a cool 449 yards of first half offense for SIU, Kerry?
As an offensive coach, I would take 449 yards on any night. Really impressive. And again, we talked about the balance in the offense. It's been there all year, and they got it again tonight.
It started really kind of skewed towards that rushing game, but then the pass game really got going.
Yeah, they've done it with a lot of different players, as we talked earlier. They've got a lot of people involved, third down conversions. one of the highest in the nation, still at that pace going 5 out of 8.
And for a little bit more on Indiana State, we send it down to Taylor Lawrence.
Thanks, guys. I wasn't able to talk to the Indiana State head coach, but I was able to go over there and listen to what they were talking about on the sideline. Now, Indiana State, they are known to come back of a game like this, even though they're down right now. And they can even ask SIU how that feeling is since they made a comeback compared to last year's season. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Taylor, that meeting between the two teams last year, that's one that the Salukis would rather forget. A 20-17 loss in Terre Haute, where the Sycamores scored a late touchdown to overcome.
Well, like I said, a Kurt Mallory football team isn't going to give up. They've not given up tonight. They've been a little shorthanded, losing their second-string quarterback, who's now first-string, and so they've got some issues, I know, as far as health at that position, but they won't quit. They're going to keep playing hard for their coach and for their program, and they're just a little overwhelmed right now by that Saluki offense.
Again, in case you're just joining us and you're wondering, again, how this all unfolded, a big storyline that we haven't talked about a lot, admittedly, because of how good SIU's offense has been, is the injuries to Indiana State's offense. Plus, Lawrence inactive tonight. Their leading rusher so far this season. Elijah Owens, of course, hasn't played the last 2 weeks, but then tonight's starting quarterback, Keegan Patterson, went down with what looked like perhaps a concussion. Again, no official word on that, but it did not look good after a big sack. Rashad Rochelle, man to return, charges forward. Healthy return to start the second half for Indiana State.
Well, they've had a time now, Larry, to kind of regroup and talk about, what the situation is offensively for them. And now with the young quarterback in there who has shown a little spark and been able to do some things in their offense, we'll see what happens.
Brock Riddle sets up shop. Saw him make a few good throws at the end of the first half. And he'll give on the first play from scrimmage in the second half to Nick Osho. Osho gets over the 100-yard mark with that carry. Second down and medium.
They're really good. They stay in that tempo. They love to play fast and keep that defense on its heels and limit defensive calls.
Riddle with lots of time evades a sack, gets out past the line of scrimmage, and he is wrapped down. Shug Walker gave him a bear hug. Third down. Walker was in a starting role for much of last year because of how injured that linebacker room was. Alan Bohannick and Andrew Bain, two guys that missed most of last season. Now both of them are back, having a huge impact, and nice to have Walker behind him as well. Riddle over the middle, incomplete off the hands of the tight end, Lance Reese.
Good pressure again, and I think you make a great point, Larry, about the linebacker crew. You start just they've been really active and they've been really physical, and now the secondary has really come up tonight and come downhill on some of those short passes. They tackled well. Secondary's had a good night as well. All over the football field making plays.
So quick first drive of the third quarter for Indiana State. Harry Traum sends it away. Far sideline, tumbling down to the 15, inside the 15. A really strong punt. Pins SIU deep in its own territory. Lukey's offense in that first half, Kerry, we mentioned the total yards number and how well balanced things have been, but consistent in all of it has been the blocking.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. The offensive line has given DJ Williams time to throw. They've opened up holes for the running backs. It's been a really full team effort, and that O-line and Coach Clark and his crew have done a great job tonight.
Here you look at some of DJ Williams' numbers tonight. He hands off, and Chandler Chapman loses the football after staying on his feet. Who else but Kamal Clark to vacuum it up? It's a turnover on the first defensive series of the second half for Indiana State.
You know, it's one of those things Taylor mentioned earlier about there's no quit in this Indiana State team, and kind of known for fighting back and coming back in ball games. And as I said, you know, we talked about the score, the disadvantage they're in right now, but they're not going to quit. They're going to keep playing.
Well, that first impact at the linebacker line was Alex Rose, and then Kamal Clark got in there for the peanut punch, and he scooped it up himself.
We've heard so many good things about his play, and watching him on film, they were all true. A preseason All-American at the safety position, and he can do it all, and he has shown that tonight. He's been all over the field.
Kurt Mallory said he never, ever takes a play off in practice, and that's how he plays. Throw over the middle. The tight end, Rocco Sioka, almost went up to get it. There is a flag down.
A lot of times you see a young quarterback come in a game pretty fired up. That adrenaline's flowing pretty heavy, and a lot of times they're a little high on their throws. They're just really pumped up, you know, a little nervous, I'm sure, and you got to get those throws down because you can get your receivers punished that way. Plus, over the middle throws got to be down because of that tip ball gets picked a lot.
Osho up the left channel, and another flag. That is the center, Drew Page, one of the captains for this team. And that's one that you just can't have.
No, not when you've got the situation they're in at the quarterback spot. You want to give him every advantage you can, help him out as best you can, and get that third and short if you have to get a third down situation. You don't want second, 17 or 18.
Osho, another carry. It's past the first level, back towards that original line of scrimmage. Make it third down and a little more manageable. But still looks like it's going to be 3rd and 10. And crowd comes to life a little bit for 3rd down. Riddle completes. It's Zach Drawdy. Lunges forward, and he's got the first down.
Well, he looked comfortable that time in the pocket, didn't he? We talk about throwing on rhythm, and he was comfortable. He stood tall in the pocket, made a nice throw.
Drawdy's 3rd catch tonight. Riddle moving with tempo. Throws and completes to Brian Domino. Brought down quickly by C.J. Parson.
Again, same thing other side, in rhythm. You know, staying tall in the pocket, making a nice throw. He got a good arm.
More tempo. Osho pushing forward, just does not go down easy.
He falls forward, doesn't he? Over and over again. Every time he carries the ball, you feel like he's falling forward for those extra yards.
The guy Kurt Mallory described as one of the biggest pleasant surprises for this team this year. He said that Osho could be a guy that could be a special teams ace for him, but now that opportunity has presented itself at that running back spot, and he's made the most of it.
Yeah, he sure has. He's a load. I mean, we've seen the speed, we've seen the ability to break tackles, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield too.
Osho off the misdirection tackle in the backfield. It's Shug Walker.
You know, I was going to say earlier, you talked about the linebacker crew, and, you know, you need more than 3. You know, our defense plays 3. Lucas play 3 guys at the linebacker crew, but they need that 4th and 5th guy to be that other person involved. Guys switching in and out, passing situations, run situations. Good to have that linebacker crew and healthy and playing well.
Shug Walker, so often that guy. Riddle bounces to the outside, throws towards the sideline, almost intercepted.
Almost a young quarterback mistake. No reason to force that there. Tried to squeeze it in on the boundary, and What really opened?
And Gavin Shepard, the one in coverage, was the one who came up injured. And he's down on the sideline for SIU. It's like just a little bit of a cramp. We'll step aside. Cornerback Gavin Shepard was the one injured, able to get off the field under his own power. And in the meantime, Indiana State knocking on the door. It's 3rd and 7. 3rd and goal from the 7. After the forced fumble, got them the ball back in Saluki territory. Osho bursting ahead, brought down inside the 3-yard line. It's going to be 4th down. Very much go for it territory. Sycamores will hurry up on 4th down. Osho again, surrounded. He never had a chance. Big stop by the Saluki defense.
I am not a big proponent of that hurry up on 4th and goal that I keep seeing in the NFL and NCAA. I think you've got to get your linemen set. You've got to get a play in mind. You're not fooling the defense. You're not set. They're not set. It kind of is a wash. Great job of the Salukis to be ready for that hurry up. But I think oftentimes it hurts the offense more than it helps them.
Vinny Pierre up from the secondary to get in there for the tackle. Donnie Wingate in there as well. And admittedly, Kerry, I did not have my listening ears on for what the official just said. I think that was a legal substitution on SIU, so that'll push them back. So even though that's a disappointment for Indiana State, this is a spot where their offense is coming back on. Goodness. So retry 4th down because of that illegal substitution. All right, so now they had a moment to get their wits about them offensively. Singleton in motion. Osho. Oh, so close. No, sir. SIU with not one but 2 4th down stops at the goal line.
That's big for the Saluki defense, and that's the kind of thing, that's a confidence builder. When you're getting stops down there in that situation, guys defeating blocks, getting inside penetration, getting a lot of helmets on the ball, that is a great stand by the Saluki defense.
Salukis maintaining firm command on this ball game. Defense with a stop at the goal line, but an encouraging sight for Sycamore fans to see Keegan Patterson, who started this game at quarterback, out of the injury tent, still has his pads on, had a scary-looking injury near the end of the second quarter. DJ Williams just falls forward off the 1-yard line. Patterson chatting it up with first-year offensive coordinator John Baer.
It's good to see him involved, talking to the other quarterbacks and just staying in the game, and probably won't see him again play tonight, but it's good to see he's doing well.
Williams completes from his own end zone. Found Fabian McCray. Had some spice on that ball. Makes it 3rd down and short. Run up the gut. It's Chapman for the first down.
A nice push.
Well, we were talking earlier in the ball game, and Chandler Chapman and LaShawn Lester are pretty much listed at the same height and weight on the roster. Chapman kind of seems like a little bit more of an outside runner. He's got maybe a little bit more of a burst than LaShawn Lester, but at times he's shown that physicality himself tonight. Another pass complete to McCray.
Yeah, they're using a lot of different receivers. They're using the different running backs. They all kind of bring something different to the table. It's kind of neat how Coach Hill uses those guys and gets a lot of people involved, keeps that receiving core fresh. He's got a couple of tight ends. They can both, Quinn and Schwindeman, they can come in and out or use them both if you need to go to a 2 tight end set. It's a lot of interchanging parts and guys getting valuable experience in these first 5 games. It's going to pay dividends down the road.
Royston Friday is in at center. Noah Fensky, the starting center, just hustled off. No problem for Chapman. Getting a big push from his offensive line. Crowd loves that. How can you not? Second effort from the offensive line moves the chains. Salukis going with pace now. Williams over the middle. It's Davis. Slips the tackle from Clark. Makes another man miss before the third tries the charm. And the tackle by Nick Yatsko. Vincent Davis just having his way tonight.
When he runs that cross, it's really, really difficult to stay with him. And then he is electric after the catch. He has been throughout his career, but this year he has gone to another level.
One thing that Nick Hill mentioned this week, he said, Vincent is just so versatile in all the routes he can run. Full route tree for him. Another powerful run for Chandler Chapman on first down.
Yeah, that's a really good point, I think, Larry, about Vincent Davis, that when you can say to a kid he can run the entire route tree, that means he can play the outside guy or he can play the inside slot receiver. Some guys can only do one or the other, and he can do it all.
Chandler Chapman coming up a little bit gimpy after that run. Not something you want to see.
No,
kind of awkward.
When you look at that replay, though, notice the line surge and how far he ran before he got touched. I mean, that offensive line tonight is getting it done, and I know we sound like a broken record, but I'm really impressed about how they've protected DJ and the job they've done opening holes for these running backs.
So they're going to review this play. I think on maybe the spot of the ball. Again, our officials' mic has been a little spotty tonight. We haven't really been able to catch it. Good to see Chapman get up off the field under his own power there, especially with Lester down after a big first run, first play from scrimmage. Looks to me like he got there.
I'm surprised. If it's the spot they're looking at, doesn't seem that close to me.
No. I think maybe the variable that they could be looking at is, where was that knee down? Because Devin Johnson kind of had him wrapped up and dragged down, and that's kind of where maybe he got twisted up and banged up on the play. Folks in the replay booth right next to us, hard at work. We can't see them, but I can see their reflection in the window.
Haven't had a lot of review calls.
No, first one.
Guys earning the paycheck.
Yeah. Honest work.
I give a shout out to anyone that gets involved in officiating. It is a tough job. It can be a thankless job.
Absolutely.
And in my career as a coach, I've always appreciated the great job that the officiating crews do.
All right. Look, Kerry, you don't want to question it too much, but I'm curious as to why that play was reviewed.
Yeah, I am too.
Did Indiana State take that challenge?
Larry, I don't know. It seemed pretty clear he made the first down. I'm not sure what the challenge was all about.
All right, first down for SIU. Robinson keeping the legs moving. Gain of 1.
We came in bragging about SIU's balance on offense, their ability to run and pass both, almost split the yardage 50-50, and we've really seen that again tonight. Whether it's one quarter here, one quarter there, but they've had great balance, not only in yardage, but also in the number of people getting that yardage.
Williams with time and a wide open Jay Jones. Was he in bounds? They say no.
So close. He's a big, tall receiver looking to get that 1 foot in.
Oh.
Yeah, I think just that left foot, I think, just out of bounds.
Speaking of officials, that's a great call.
It is a great call.
All those pellets pop just against that white.
Those pellets would help. See that foot flag.
Williams throws it low in front of Vincent Davis. And it'll be 4th down. Here comes Paul Halen. I'm always kind of curious about all those pellets. You take a walk around a turf field and they're dumping pellets out of your shoe for 2 weeks and you're curious as to why they're there.
Yeah, I got in trouble a lot bringing those pellets home. I had to take my shoes off out in the garage. I couldn't bring them inside and bring all those pellets into the closet. So.
Halen waits, sends it. Rochelle, a nice acting job. And Halen again tucks it inside the 10. 38-14, all Salukis. Yeah, it's family weekend in Carbondale, and the crowd showed out accordingly. They've been pleased. 38-14, Salukis lead. Indiana State opens the drive inside its own 10-yard line with a run that goes pretty much nowhere for Nick Osho.
Yeah, it was a great crowd tonight. We used to have family weekend, and a lot of kids had their parents come in, brothers and sisters, and they really packed Saluki Stadium tonight for this ball game. A lot of excitement for the Saluki season.
It's such a great night to watch a football game. Very comfortable, not cold yet. Doesn't exactly feel like October. As Nick Osho makes a man miss, gets punished, but picks up the 1st down. Well, a tough night for Indiana State, but not a tough night for Nick Osho, who is having one of the best games of his career. 123 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Throw from Brock Riddle is complete for Zach Brody.
They've got a combination going. I get the feeling they've worked together maybe in that second team, the second team time. A lot of times you'll find a second team quarterback finds a second team receiver is often the guy he has the timing with because they work together so often.
Osho jets to the left and falls forward for a 1st down.
I love your comment earlier about they're going to be able to leave this ball game with some things they can hang their hat on. And they've got a young quarterback that got some valuable experience. And Nick Osho's had a really good night. And the offensive line has been a big part of that for them.
Oh, and this is the last thing you want to see if you're Indiana State. Their star wide receiver, Rashad Rochelle, is down on the turf. Especially a game like this. Oh, it's just the last thing you need. Take a look at this.
All right.
Yeah, got rolled up on.
So often you see that with offensive linemen getting rolled up on from behind. And, boy, on occasion, you're out there doing your job. You got your back to the play. And hopefully it's not serious.
Fans, you can get all of ESPN college football all in one place with the all-new ESPN app. Unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your TV provider. Where's the MVFC logo there, Kerry? I can't seem to find it.
It left too quickly. I couldn't see it.
The SEC of FCS, after all.
Right.
All right, 1st down and 10 for Indiana State. Riddle with time overthrew his man. Looking for Osho out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's had some mistakes. Those mistakes have come with getting the ball a little high on these receivers. Other than that, he's thrown some really good balls. Shown the ability to use his legs, buy some time, scramble a little bit.
Another carry for Osho. Slithers his way for a gain of about 3 before he meets Shug Walker. Just such a tough position to be thrown into if you're Riddle. Third on the depth chart to open the season. And then you see Keegan Patterson, who started the game, go down with a pretty scary injury. And all things considered, Riddle's done a good job. Osho again. First down and more. Across the 50. Nothing but turf in front of him. Second touchdown tonight for Nick Osho.
Well, we bragged about him at the opening of the telecast, and we thought that he showed something last week against Montana, and boy, he has lived it this night as well. He looks really good. Got that combination of speed, power.
Back-to-back games with 2 touchdowns. The redshirt junior from British Columbia.
You know, speaking of your quarterback comment, Brock Riddle reminds me a lot of what Jake Curry went through last year with SIU. You know, same kind of situation.
He'll stay on for 2. Riddle throws, and it's broken up by C.J. Parson.
Nice play.
Got his paw on it before it could travel out to Osho. Another look at this long run from Osho. Well, that one was pretty simple. Got through the line clean and goodbye.
That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And the thing about it, it's what you say, 6'2", 220, and you know he can carry the mail. He's got great speed. He's a good combination of a lot of things you want in a running back: that size, that agility, that speed.
Just really an incredible athlete. Played all kinds of sports growing up in Canada, including, get this, rugby.
Yeah, that'll make it tough.
Yeah. No pads to be found. So 3:55 left in the third, 38-20.
No quit in those Sycamores, buddy. I'm telling you, man, I know the score isn't what the Indiana State folks want, but if this is a character test of who you are, and this is when you find out who you are, when you battle adversity and you fall behind in a ball game, and I love the fact that they have stuck, to it. They have fought hard in this game.
As SIU takes a timeout as Sebastian Lopez was lined up for an onside kick. Just a little something off for the Salukis. Maybe also making some personnel changes to get the hands team out there.
Yeah, you don't want to give up another possession here and give them the ball back. And next thing you know, Larry, you're back in it. Sometimes when you take your foot off the gas, you let a team back in, it's tough to get that engine revving again. So they want to keep any momentum Indiana State thinks they might have. They want to stop that right now at this moment and get the ball back and put a drive together.
Still a 3-possession game as it stands right now. Lopez, bit of a turn, a good kick, and it looks like the Salukis have it. Oh, and now a flag. And it's getting a little testy down there. And Chris Presto is hot. Teammates trying to cool him down. And still opining his case with the official.
Yeah, he's really upset. You don't usually see that.
No. And Presto, one of the leaders on this team.
you saw a flag come out just after the ball was recovered. I don't know what the call was, but something happened evidently in that scrum there in the middle.
Presto lost his helmet, and you imagine it might have something to do with that. Maybe he was looking for a flag because his helmet came off and then didn't get it, and then it was thrown on him. Nick Hill is not too happy either. Traditionally even-keeled Nick Hill. An official is about ready to start a podcast here. While he's chatting.
There is a lot of discussion going on right now. But I guess you'd rather have him get it right.
Yep.
You know, take the time, discuss it, get it right.
All right. Okay. Well, there it is. Under review for targeting. Let's take a look. All right. So 42 on the ground there. Keep watching. Maybe something happens. Did you see anything there?
I'm sorry. No, I didn't pick it up, but
okay.
hopefully the guys in the booth next to us can get this thing squared away and we can get back to playing some football.
Well, a slow night in the office has turned into a busy one for our neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, Coach Hill, like Coach Mallory, pretty even-keel guys, don't really get upset too much.
All right, here we go. 42 in white running down the right hash mark there.
Okay, yeah. That's leading with your helmet. But
we might need some zoom to really see where the contact was.
It's like 36 was involved there.
Well, that's just really tough play if you're trying to recover that ball, right? Because running with your head down, you're trying to get there as quick as possible, and then somebody touches it, you want to lay the hammer.
Yeah, it's an unenviable task to be the guy recovering the onside kicks, especially the ones that come straight at you. The ones to the side, you got a little more time, the ball takes a few bounces, but those ones that come straight at you, and that whole defense seems to be, coming right at you at that moment. That's a courageous moment in a kid. You got to have the right people on that hands team that are willing to stick their nose in there and recover that football.
Well, there have been some big special teams moments tonight. This could be another one.
Yeah.
This has turned into a long game.
You think about the last few weeks at every level of college and pro football, how many special teams plays, how many blocked field goals, blocked punts have taken place. Special teams has been really a big factor in a lot of ball games lately.
Another glance at it. Again, we're looking at 14 in blue and white on those right hashes. Presto was the first man there. And to me, Kerry, from that angle, it almost looks like shoulder pad to helmet.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what's taking so long, is they're trying to make sure. And I know both coaches.
All right, so Braxton Sampson, the captain on Indiana State's defense, is ejected for targeting, and that's helmet.
That angle right there is a much better angle, and I'm sure that's the one they finally got to make that determination. But, you mentioned him before, second leading tackler, leads the team in tackles for loss. That's a big loss for them, not only this week, but possibly next week.
Now, that was a point of emphasis in the college football rules before the season. They changed the definition of defenseless player to include a player trying to recover a loose ball. And so that's where that might apply. Now, Presto is trying to scoop it up. Lem Walsh, big run, first down. You have to be happy with the depth in the running back room that the Salukis have shown tonight. And really, it even goes beyond guys like Edward Robinson and Lem Walsh. Remember last year, Jimmy Athens got some run at running back, and he's hardly seen the field.
They had a lot of injuries in that backfield last year. This year, it's really been a whole group of guys.
Wash out of the Wildcat. Brought down at the 15.
Well, again, I want you to watch that line surge on the right side of that offensive line, and those guys doing a great job of getting the push. You're going to see it. I mean, they're getting upfield a yard or two before there's any contact, and then he's able to make a little shake and get outside. Yeah. O-line getting it done.
Wildcat formation with the former quarterback in Wash. Play action. Floated out wide. Reeled in by Quinn. Got brought down by Yatsko. Tight ends again.
Yeah.
Catching a lot of passes out in the flat tonight.
Getting more involved.
Quinn missed 8 games last year due to injury. The first 8 of the season, returned for 4, but still got that red shirt. Started 13 games as a junior in 2023. Wash again. Met by Devin Johnson at the 10-yard line. Very, very close to that line to gain. And the sticks will move.
Always had a nice game, hadn't he? Good little move there. He does a good job. And, that inside run game, not a super big guy, but, man, he looks good in there.
Hey, you look at the stat sheet, it doesn't jump off the page at you. 34 yards on 6 carries, but they've been effective.
They have been effective.
They've come in big spots. Wash still toting the rock.
Some of the best games you could have it's not the length of the long run they get, or 50, 60-yard run. It's those tough inside runs that move the chains over and over again in a ball game. I love those kind of nights when I had a back able to do that, show some toughness, and he's had that kind of night, a very blue-collar night for him. Yeah.
Wash called Salukis' second running backs coach by running back coach Larry Warner. He's a guy with a lot of experience. He's been around.
Yeah.
So Wash is off. Chapman back in. Up the gut, into the end zone. SIU over the 40-point plateau again. Second touchdown tonight for the junior.
Yeah, great push up front, getting some double teams there. Great cut back inside. Salukis have been really good in the red zone, really good on third down again. All the things they came in that were strong suits, they've done again tonight.
A cool 11.5 yards per carry for Mr. Chapman. Assisted by a few big runs, of course. Halen's boot is perfect. Middle. 45-20. SIU, one of 10 teams in the country averaging over 40 points per game coming into this Saturday. And it's going to stay that way.
Well, everything that's been advertised about this offense has come true, and I feel like the same thing, and I think the defense has been a bit overshadowed by the offensive performance week after week. That defense is still playing well. I think, Larry, you said they were averaging 19 points a game, giving up 19, and they're right at it tonight, giving up 20. So you're getting what they've done the first 4 weeks, you're getting tonight almost exactly. You're getting the same type of performance statistically on both sides of the ball.
Looking at a few different metrics, the Salukis, a top 15 defense in the country, according to PFF. So they've really gotten it done, like you said, on both sides.
Yeah. And special teams. I mean,
Yeah.
we always we think about the impact that can have, the fake punt, Paul Healing getting the ball inside the 10, being down twice, being perfect on his extra points. I mean, that's a solid night of special teams. May not look like they mattered so much tonight, but they will matter at some point during this season.
34 ticks left in the third. Kalen into the end zone.
He didn't just kick it in the end zone. He kicks it out of the end zone.
He might have a few touchbacks if the field were 10 yards longer. I mean,
Yeah.
an impressive swing of the leg. Really a weapon. Because,
Yeah.
as a Bears fan, selfishly, I think back to week 1, Monday Night Football, and the Bears looked to Cairo Santos, hey, can you kick the ball through the end zone? We need a touchback. And he couldn't. And there will be times where you really want or need a touchback, and the Salukis can get it.
Absolutely.
You just don't get that with college kickers all the time. Nick Osho plunges forward. Nick Osho, before that carry, 27 rushes, 205 yards.
I was going to say, he's pushing 30 carries. I mean, I know that they've probably leaned on him even more since the injury, but to Patterson, but I feel like he's really, really done a good job of, helping move those chains and keep their offense going.
Osho has 211 yards now, but his Sycamores trail it big. 45-20, SIU after 3 on Saturday Night Football in Southern Illinois. Got to be tiring to be a cheerleader on a night like tonight. A lot of cheering for SIU. They lead 45-20. And on the first play of the fourth quarter, it gets even more lopsided. An interception out of the hand of Brock Riddle. It's Chris Presto. Or excuse me, Donnie Wingate, the defensive end. Here's another look. Tip from Shug Walker, Wingate right there.
Well, that's how you start the fourth quarter if you're the SIU defense, right?
Wow. Wingate, just a huge guy. Right there. First play of the drive. Another productive run. A whole lot of those tonight.
Not
the Salukis. That time it was Edward Robinson.
Not a lot of runs for no gain. Not a lot of situations where the tackles were lost. They've really done a good job of falling forward, moving the chains, getting extra yardage after the first contact. They've done that all night long.
Second down and 6. Robinson getting some shine here. Fights through an arm tackle and stays up. Able to twist forward.
Yards after contact.
Yeah.
It's been a big thing tonight. We talked about that inside run game, which doesn't rack up a ton of yardage in the total yardage statistic, but boy, it's been tough yards inside, and it's yardage that's moving the chains, keeping drives going.
First down and 10. Third consecutive carry for Robinson. And he's stacked up. For a gain of about 1. Drew Covington at the bottom of the pile for the Sycamores. SIU trying to hit that 50-point mark for a second consecutive game. Hung 59 on SEMO in week 4. Signal change. A pass to the end zone. What a throw, but it's incomplete, out of bounds. for Jay Jones.
About the second or third time they've tried that little back shoulder throw to Jay Jones. They tried it one time earlier in the first half. Boy, they've been real close both times. Back shoulder, just got that toe out of bounds. Boy, he was close.
So they'll give it a look, but based on that look, I think it's probably going to stand as an incomplete pass.
They're wondering if that other toe didn't tap right before that one went down. It's going to be a close call. Again, the guys next to us getting some overtime.
Yeah.
In that replay booth.
Well, we jinxed it for them.
We shouldn't have said anything.
Our third review of the second half after we didn't have any in the first half. Right, an alternate angle. Watch those feet. Oh!
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This is about where Tony Romo says, I don't know, kid.
Well, I'd only be guessing if I gave you an answer right now, but it's close.
Again, those pellets help. There was a little bit of kick up, but that could have been the defender, Xavier Andrews. Watch that back foot, that right side.
I don't know.
I don't think it touched. Because you see that kick from the pellets, that was Andrews' foot.
And it may not be enough, Larry, to overturn it. They called it an incomplete pass. He stepped out of bounds. But that right there, we're looking for those pellets. We're looking for a little dust up right there.
Upheld. Hey, speaking of points of emphasis, this is another rule change that was made before the season. They changed the language with reviews. And they used to say confirmed or stands. Confirmed being that they confirmed the call. Stands being they're not sure, so we're going to keep the call. Now they just say upheld. I don't really like that. Keeps us in the dark. Robinson out of the backfield. Brought down. Couldn't get to the corner. Good job by the Indiana State defense to wrap that one up. It's a loss. It'll be fourth down. And Paul Halen will attempt his second field goal tonight. Made one from further back earlier in the ball game. This one is plenty good. Halen 2 for 2 tonight. Pretty much everybody's having a good night for SIU. $33-yard field goal from Paul Halen is good. 48-20. Southern Illinois. First home game in over a month for SIU. Got to feel pretty good.
Thomas More game. They started the season, which seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Salukis are glad to be home. A lot of family in, and a lot of friends here today. Big crowd, and good performance, both sides of the ball.
There will be a return for Indiana State. Lots of shaking and baking out to the 25. And that was French on the return. One of the wide receivers filling in for Rashad Rochelle, who left with an injury earlier in the ballgame. 29 yards. Turned from the end zone, but, it's to the point in the ball game where you figure, why not? Might as well give it a shot. So Brock Riddle leads the troops back on. Fake give, throw to the right, lots of contact and flags everywhere. Riddle was looking for Keyshawn Singleton, and Shepard will be flagged for PI.
Probably got his hands involved too much there. Looked like some kind of back shoulder throw on that. Yeah, he was making contact a little bit early. Receiver was trying to get back to the ball and just couldn't get there. Yeah, good call by the official. They'll get a new set of downs. See if they can put a drive together.
Singleton, one of many Sycamores with Springfield, Illinois backgrounds. I thought that was really kind of an interesting roster trend. You've got Rochelle, their leading wide receiver from Springfield. Elijah Owens from Jacksonville, just outside of Springfield. Singleton, also a Springfield native. There's a give to Damon Sturm, excuse me.
Yeah, it's interesting when coaches get a connection in an area and they get familiar with the coaches in an area. Maybe some time at Illinois, he was able to make contact. Maybe that was a recruiting area that he knew before. All of a sudden, you maintain that pipeline of players through that area. And that's a great football area, by the way. I've done battle with a lot of schools in that area, and it's a really, really good football area of the state.
Sacred Heart Griffin, where Singleton went, Chatham Glenwood, Jacksonville,
Rochester.
Sturm again. Terre Haute native. Didn't get very far. Third down coming up. Sturm out of Terre Haute North. Redshirt sophomore. We have not seen Angelo St. Louis tonight, who got some run last week. Been the Nick Osho show out of the backfield. Throw under duress from Riddle. Too high for Singleton. And Indiana State will punt.
Yeah, kind of off his back foot, making that ball elevate again. We talked about earlier, the ball's been a little high on occasion. He's thrown some nice balls to the outside, but a lot of the stuff over the middle has been a little too high. But he will get better. Got some valuable experience tonight.
Yeah.
Very good Saluki defense.
Strom has had a busy night. Hey, Mario waves and completes the catch. Time to pay some bills. DJ Williams' evening is over, and Jake Curry is on out of the quarterback bullpen for Southern Illinois. His first pass attempt is batted down at the line of scrimmage. But Curry's freshman season probably couldn't have dreamed of what would have happened, but he ended up playing probably more than any other true freshman quarterback in the entire country last year for SIU.
Yeah, he got thrust into that, and he just stepped right in and just did a great job of leading this offense. Great comeback win, one against Youngstown.
Robinson slipping away from tackles. Out past the 50. Can they catch him? No. Edward Robinson joins the rushing touchdown party.
Great job by Jackson Parker, number 10, running interference for him all the way down the field there, Smart not to make a bad block, but just running interference for him. And love to see guys come in and make plays. When your second group gets in there and you want them to maintain that level of excellence you're trying to achieve, and they come out and they score in a couple of plays. That's
81 yards for Edward. Kalen's extra point. Business as usual. And it's 55-20 with over 10 minutes left. Well, how about this team effort rushing-wise? Robinson with a touchdown. Chapman has 2. Williams has 2. It was just tackle after tackle.
Yeah, there was a nice hold. There was about 3 missed tackles there, and then Jackson Parker not letting anyone get close. Yeah,
He had a pacer down the sideline.
that's right. No, nice execution. Broke a couple of tackles, and that's big time.
So Robinson over 100 yards. Chapman right there at 93. Williams with a pedestrian 70 for his standards. Another big night rushing. 414 rushing yards as a team. Split among 6 different carriers.
That's a lot of yardage. That's
A ton.
That's a ton.
640 yards of total offense. Halen sends it towards the right side of the end zone. And French will take it out. French tripped up before he could turn the corner. Today's Impact Play is brought to you by SIU College of Agricultural, Life, and Physical Sciences. We go back to the first quarter on the fake punt first down carry.
I love this as the play of the game. You don't see this very often, but this was, I think, a moment where Indiana State was getting a little momentum, still in the ball game, and this was a big key. They got to stop, and SIU fake punts and gets a huge first down to keep a drive going.
And look, it didn't go for a touchdown, but you pointed it out at the time. That was right after Indiana State's first touchdown drive of the game. Their offense had found rhythm. They get the ball back there, score, one-score game.
Yeah.
They never did make it a one-score game.
No, I thought it was a huge play. 21-7, they get a stop. Fake punt takes place. They lose that opportunity to get the ball back. I'm not saying they would have won the ball game if SIU had done that, but I still feel like it was a turning point in the game at an early point when they had a chance to get some momentum, and you never know about momentum.
Big Mo, as they say. Salukie's friend tonight as Sturm gets helped off the field. His first rushing action this season. Walking very gingerly off the field. So we'll see who the Sycamores tab next at running back. Osho is probably done for the night. 28 carries, 211 yards. All in a day's work. There's Angelo St. Louis.
Oh, great name.
Really is. From Evansville, Indiana. Throw batted, and it falls harmlessly.
That's another great football area, and I'm sure heavily recruited by Indiana State, but great football area in Evansville. Lots of great high schools there. Saluki, Michael Lindauer, who played quarterback last year in that final game, is from an Evansville school. A lot of good football players there.
Riddle with the give. St. Louis keeps the legs moving and gets a push. Indiana State extends the drive. St. Louis had the first rushes of his career in the last 2 games against Indiana and Montana. How's that for your first 2 collegiate games?
Welcome to college football, right? Yeah.
Redshirt sophomore didn't see much action. First 2 years. Sycamores zigzags his way up the gut. Another healthy game.
It's a good-looking running back. I mean, this is a really kind of just a quick look. Well-built, good size, strong legs. It's like he's got some potential.
How about a third rush? This time stacked up near the line of scrimmage. This is an Indiana State offense that did not bring back much. Sure, they brought back Elijah Owens after a really incredible freshman season. A guy like Rashad Rochelle. But beyond that, they had to replace a ton of the offensive line. a lot of skill players and also a new offensive coordinator. So John Bear and Kurt Mallory have kind of built up this offense from scratch.
Yeah, and
this year.
That's a tough thing to do, Larry. It's a lot of it is about the cohesiveness up front, getting guys to gel and play together, and sometimes that's tough to do.
St. Louis swarm. Florima got in there for the stop.
Shug Walker. We've called his name a lot tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, look at Walker breaking through the line for that first contact. And then Florima stacks on to finish him off. So Harry Traum is tabbed once again. And there you see Keegan Patterson started the game at quarterback.
I'm glad to see.
Yeah. Whew. Traum with lots of time. Mario makes the catch up against the chest pad. Jake Curry and company coming back out when we return. 55-20 SIU looking for more. Jimmy Athens gets his first carry. And he's brought down shy of the line of scrimmage. Curry, the Salukis' second-string quarterback who started 5 games as a true freshman last year, back out there. Didn't have to do much on his first drive.
He did not. He did not. He gets credit for leading that drive, but I think it was, 2 plays?
Yep. 2 plays, and one of them an 80-yard touchdown run.
Yep.
From Edward Robinson.
Well, if you know and you've watched Jake play, he doesn't see this as anything but his opportunity to lead this offense to another touchdown, right?
Athens saunters forward, and he's pushed forward. The 3rd and medium. Athens, a local product from here in Little Egypt. A guy who, mistaken, from Lake Geneva, but a guy who looked pretty good last year in his limited carries, and I think this just kind of shows you how deep SIU is at running back. The fact that he hasn't seen a lot of action.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in front of him right now that have looked really, really good and really showcased what they can do tonight. And we saw Lester there in the first quarter, never saw him again, but he looked good.
Curry zips it to the outside. Couldn't connect on the back shoulder. As he was looking for 88. And I don't think we have an 88 on our roster here. Believe it or not. So 3 and out for SIU's offense. Halen's punt takes a bounce. And the Salukis will down it at 35-yard line. So another chance for Brock Riddle, redshirt freshman quarterback. And we were talking during the break. These situations, these spots really do matter for a guy who's still kind of getting his wings in college football.
Man, every snap matters, and these young players who are getting a chance to showcase what they can do and to get that experience. I know that it seems like the score is just completely out of hand, but for guys that are getting their first chance to take the field, this is their moment. This is their chance to get there and get on the film and showcase what they can do, and I know Brock is going to savor this opportunity.
Run up the gut. St. Louis plows a man. Gain of 8 on first down.
And I added this, Larry, as I think these opportunities also allow coaches to see guys at game speed, and guys can catch your eye. This St. Louis looks really good, physical runner, showing a lot right here the short time he's had on the field.
St. Louis again with a burst forward, carrying men with him before he's stacked up past the 50.
And he's moved the pile every time he's carried the ball. That's a good hard run right there, and he's done that every time. looks like he lost his helmet, so he's got to come out. But, man.
And look who it is again. Nick Osho. Back for more. Career high 211 yards. He won't carry the rock. Riddle throws over the middle off the hands of Singleton, incomplete. Singleton started his career at Air Force. Redshirted there before heading back to the Midwest.
Nice play by Grant Thompson. He really closed on that route.
We talked about the importance of seeing guys at game speed for Indiana State's offense. Same can be said for SIU's defense. This is a unit with a ton of experience, a lot of fifth-year, sixth-year, even seventh-year guys. Those young guns, they don't get much opportunity unless it's a scenario like this.
No, and it's interesting. You don't know when you might need some of these guys. You think you got plenty of depth, and all of a sudden a couple of corners go down or a linebacker or two goes down, and these guys that you're thinking are projects for the future, you're going to need maybe in a few weeks.
Riddle floats, and the catch. E.J. Hartwell reels it in. The freshman, a true freshman, Suwanee, Georgia. Good catch for his first. Flags everywhere. Somebody jumped. So first and 15. Coming up. Sixth penalty today on Indiana State for 45 yards.
I love to see the starters who are out of the game are still watching the game, watching those guys, those young guys play and cheering them on. And those are big moments for these guys.
St. Louis gets through one tackle, but not a second. Good diving effort on the tackle there from Naz Hill. Transferred to SIU from Wyoming. Kankakee K. Talk about a football powerhouse.
Yeah, sure.
St. Louis
had the experience of playing them in a quarterfinal game in 2021 at Kankakee. It was a great game, and they went on to play in the state title game and took second that year. So, yeah, I know that program really well, and they're good year in and year out.
You might have seen Naz Hill then.
I might have.
More laundry. And they'll chat this one over. Who jumped first? SIU.
Those ranches.
Lucas McDaniels jumped. So now Indiana State will move forward. Hey, while we've got a moment, want to give a birthday shout out to my mom.
Well,
tuned in.
Happy birthday, Larry's mom.
Yeah, up in Rockford area.
Yeah.
We appreciate her spending some of her birthday watching college football. She's never been a big football fan, but boy, she loves the Salukis all of a sudden. I don't know what it is. St. Louis pushed over the line to gain.
Love that mom and dad support.
Yeah.
Every place I coached, my dad had a hat for wherever I moved to, wherever I got a job. He was on my side. So it's a cool thing. So.
Of course, wouldn't be here without him.
I'm liking this St. Louis. Good fake.
Riddle looking for the pylon. He's got it. Scampers in for a late touchdown for Indiana State.
He fooled the old ball coach up here in the booth. I thought he handed it off to St. Louis and did a nice job of reading the backside in and getting in the end zone.
First touchdown in the long career, hopefully long career, of Brock Riddle.
Nice. Yeah, that was well done. That was well executed.
And well set up, too. A lot of gives to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Kick from Lopez is straight through. Some fellows have stuck around to try and make a play on that thing on the berm.
Yeah, the berm's not as crowded, so you got a better chance of getting the ball now.
14-yard touchdown run for Riddle has Indiana State back on the board. Looks like some Chris Presto fans there out on the berm. Got a fan club.
Yeah. Well, it's Friends and Family Weekend, so
those tailgates, walking in, we get to walk right through them from our parking lot.
Oh, it smells good.
Oh, yeah.
It smells really good.
Lots more opportunities to tailgate coming up for the Salukis. A lot of home games this month, 2 more. They hit the road to North Dakota State, top team in the nation, next week in the Fargo Dome before coming back to get North Dakota. Not much of a break for SIU, but hey,
yeah, Missouri
that's the Valley.
Missouri Valley football, there is no break, you know. I mean, as I said, you got to buckle that chin strap and get ready to go.
Vincent Davis watches it settle in the end zone. Speaking of upcoming schedules, we'll take a look at the Salukis in detail. Number 1, North Dakota State. They will remain number 1 as they took down Illinois State on the road 33-16 today. Then, number 14, North Dakota. Northern Iowa, at Murray State, and Youngstown State. Upcoming schedule brought to you by Rend Lake Golf Club.
Well, it doesn't matter what year or what order the games are in. When you look at the Missouri Valley Conference schedule, it's always amazing just how difficult. And even those middle-of-the-road Missouri Valley teams are always really good.
2-minute timeout. Salukis putting the finishing touches on a big win. Waning moments of a big SIU victory over Indiana State to open up MVFC play. Give up the gut as the Salukis continue to stack up ball carriers in this ball game. Quade Chapman, freshman from Kansas City, get some action there. Along with the Saluki reserve. 3rd down and 2. Last show in town on the MVFC scoreboard tonight. Thanks for sticking around with us. Larry Martin, Larry Larson. South Dakota State hung on for a win over Youngstown State on the road, 35-30. That was real close. I mentioned North Dakota State defeating Illinois State. As Chapman got enough.
That'll move the chain.
And that will likely do it. Might be victory formation time for Nick Hill and the fellas. South Dakota over Murray State at home, 49-24. North Dakota 35, UNI 7. So no big surprises on the out-of-town scoreboard in the Valley tonight.
Youngstown battled. That's an interesting score. That will be a big ball game for SIU down the road.
Indeed it will be. That's 2 weeks from today. Salukis back home after a trip to North Dakota State next week. Curry takes a knee, and that is all she wrote tonight at Saluki Stadium. Well, we talked with Nick Hill throughout the week, and he said, because of family weekend, he told his team, there's going to be a lot of folks here that are watching you play football for the first and last time. What's their impression going to be? I'd say pretty good.
I would say pretty good after tonight. I think in all phases they played really well. Good, strong performance. Coach Hill's got to be happy with what he saw tonight. Coach Mallory's got to regroup, get ready for next week.
We'll step aside for a quick break and come back with a post-game interview. SIU 1-0 in MVFC play. Taylor Lawrence is standing by with one of our players of the game, running back Chandler Chapman.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Chandler Chapman. Congrats on the win. You did a really good job today with 2 touchdowns. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Everything just fell in play. All the preparation, all the long meetings, like everything just fell in play, and it all came together today.
And what's your mindset going into your match next week with North Dakota State?
Mindset is to just keep it up, keep the energy, not get complacent, and just keep working.
Well, congrats on the win. Thank you for talking to me tonight. Back to you guys.
Chandler Chapman just shy of 100 rush yards, 2 touchdowns. The junior college transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast. Looks like he fits right in. That'll do it for our coverage tonight from Little Egypt. For Kerry Martin, I'm Larry Larson saying so long from Carbondale, where the final score is the Salukis 55, Indiana State 27. Be sure to tune into our next telecast of SIU football Saturday, October 11th, when the Salukis travel to Fargo to take on the top-ranked Bison at 2:30 p.m. on ESPN+. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other productions of our ESPN family of networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of The Valley on ESPN.